Hey, what's going on? This is the Shark Talk podcast. I'm Shaqq The Shark, and this podcast is a podcast where we talk to sharks as a shark and bring you in on the conversation. We got the shark himself, Mr. Andre Norman, on today. How you feeling, man?
I'm doing wonderful, man. I know I elevated to a shark, though.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I mean, you've been a shark for a long time. I mean, whether somebody said it or not, you fit the criteria. Like earlier, I was thinking, not today, but when I was thinking about my guest list, this is episode 3 right here. But when I was thinking about my guest list, a video of you came up on my timeline, and I was thinking like, I definitely gotta call him. So I called you, and I appreciate you for answering, man.
Always.
Yeah, man. You was in Brazil at the time. You was.
Listen, man. You gotta get out the house sometime. You gotta get out the house.
That's a little further than out the house, bruh.
No, it's a small world. It's close if you have a big mind. It's far if you have a small mind. So for small-minded people, Brazil's far. For small-minded people, you know what I'm saying, Tennessee's far. For small-minded people, another level in your house is far. For small-minded people, you know what I'm saying, being a manager to a CEO is far. So it's your perspective. It's never the distance.
Yeah, no, that's real. That's real. I think I went to Europe a few months ago. I went to like 4 different countries out there, really 5 because I had a layover in Ireland. But when I was doing that, the way people was perceiving it, I realized like people think this is out of reach, but it's really just a ticket. You just book a ticket at the airline and
you spend less on a ticket than you do on some other stuff.
That's a fact. That's a fact. If you focus on actually getting it done, anybody could do it. It's just about doing it. So I realized that. So
the experience of traveling the world compared to the experience wearing the jewelry you have on.
Yeah.
Which is more beneficial?
Definitely the traveling.
Most people go for jewelry.
Well, hey, I just did.
You didn't stop there.
Yeah, no,
Some
for sure.
people stop there.
For sure. It took me a long time to even do that. Like, I mean, you've known me for a while, and we've had a lot of time to spend together. But it wasn't even my personality initially to make those types of purchases. But I was talking to a friend, and he brought some insight. I was just like, you know what? People may perceive me one way, and if I have certain things, then my perception would probably allow me to take advantage of more opportunities, and it has.
Yeah.
It has. So on one hand, I definitely would travel the world if I had to choose between the two. But
1984 was my first international trip.
Where'd you
I
go?
went to London, I went to Paris, I went to Belgium, and I went to Amsterdam. 1984. At 17 years old.
Wow. What were you doing? What
I was my high school's first ever foreign exchange student.
Yeah.
So I was deemed to have the most potential of any kid in Boston Public Schools in 1984. And the President Reagan paid for me to go on an international trip.
That's crazy.
So I went to 4 countries over the summer. And what it did for me, because I still ended up doing some other stuff, what it did for me was teach me that the world was a lot bigger than my neighborhood. And it was the first time in my life I was an American. Because I grew up in the hood like the rest of us.
Yeah.
And I was always the black kid or that kid from that town or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It was 1984. It was the Olympics. The Olympics are in Los Angeles. I'm in London.
Right.
So everybody called me the American. Nobody called me the black kid. Nobody called me a nigga. Nobody called me nothing. They called me the American. And there was a bunch of white kids on the trip too.
Right.
They called us all, those are Americans. And that's what I was, and I'd never been called that. I've been called a lot of stuff.
No, for sure.
And I used to play video games. So they had like a video game at the little thing at the end of the street. I used to play the game, and I used to get the high score, and I used to put Dre, D-R-E. That was my thing.
Right.
Then after like halfway through the summer, these people keep calling me American, I switched up, and I started putting USA for the high score name instead of D-R-E. And I had the whole board lit up USA. And that changed my thinking and gave me global thinking.
That's different. That's a man. I wonder how much, just based on what you're saying, like having that experience under your belt. How old were you at the time?
17.
You were 17 years old. So this was before you had a lot of the stints that you did in prison.
I only went to prison once. It was before I went to prison.
You said I only went to prison. How long were you in prison?
I was in prison for 14 years, but I only went once.
That's still a long time. Bro.
Oh, I didn't say it was a short time.
You're
I know
right.
people who do installments. They
Right.
do 5, they do 10, I did one was enough.
Yeah.
One was enough.
And 14 wasn't even the amount of time you were supposed to be in there. What was the actual amount of time.
They gave me a 7 to 10, 2 9 to 10s, 2 10s, 2 15 to 20s, and a 5. And while I was inside, I picked up 2 3 to 5s. So I was supposed to do about 30 years. I had like 105 years total. I was supposed to do around 30.
That's not normal, bro. That's crazy.
No, it is normal because people get in situations and they double down.
Right.
So you're dating somebody and you realize she's not the fit for you, but you double down and try to change her.
Right.
You're in a job and it's not going well. You try to double down and change. So I got to prison. I doubled down.
Right. Well, I wasn't saying it wasn't normal from the perspective of you getting the time or you being in that situation. I'm saying what's not normal was you getting that time and you doing such a short amount of it and then coming out on the other side the way you did. That's not normal.
My coming home sane is not normal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Most people who meet me now have a hard time believing I've been to jail.
Right.
Most people who know me from jail have a hard time believing I never came back.
Yeah.
They're like, man, he coming back.
What do you think? What do you think that the main cause of people believing that you weren't in prison is at this point?
Their stereotypical view of what a prisoner looks like and what he moves like.
Right.
So when people meet me,
yeah,
I'm articulate, for lack of a better term.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
most prisoners in their mind aren't articulate.
Right.
You're saying, I'm casual. I'm not aggressive.
Right.
So I can be aggressive.
Oh, no, you definitely could be aggressive.
But my day-to-day mannerisms is I'm easy.
Yeah.
I tell people, man, I'm a mother reborn. So I'm like easygoing. I'm sarcastic,
right,
but I'm not aggressive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so until I need be, I'm just chill. Right. And they watch too many movies. And so I put stuff on Instagram and TikTok. I'm like, oh, that would have never happened like that. I'm like, nigga, you never been in jail. You never been in the penitentiary. You're going off movies.
Right.
So most people have a stereotypical movie view or the new rapper projected view of what a gangster looks like.
Right.
Or what a thug looks like or what a prisoner looks like. And it's so far removed from the truth, it don't even make sense.
That's good.
So when they meet me, I don't fit the stereotypical role or view of what they deem someone who did 14 years in prison should look like. So they look past that.
Basically a shark in fish clothing.
No, I'm a shark. They got fish clothing lenses on.
Yo, yeah, that's exactly right. That's a good.
They putting on phony lenses. I don't project. I don't.
Yeah, you definitely don't.
Fake.
You definitely don't. I think that your authenticity with who you are and how you are is one of the things that I respect. Even with the content you put out, like you're actually saying, "Hey, this is the person I am. This is the person I was, and this is just me now." And I respect that a lot, and it's very well received. You know, I think for a lot of people who may have gone through, you know, a stint or just having a moment where they were down on their luck or in the justice system, they don't carry it with a sense of pride, I guess.
I'm not proud that I went to prison.
Right.
My goal in 2023 and beyond is to help people get out of prison.
Right.
Of all the people I can help in society.
Right.
All the work that I do in the world and the people I work with.
Yeah.
My core group, my tribe are people who are locked up. So I don't try to shy away from my people.
Right.
I'm saying I work with corporations, I work with big companies, I work with a lot of folks, but my tribe will never be them.
Right.
My tribe will be those cats who are in the penitentiary trying to figure it out. Right. Because that's where I come from. I don't come from boarding school. I don't come from corporate America. I come from figuring it out on a big yard.
And you attract those corporate people in like nobody's business. Like I don't think I know any other single person who have the ability to just say, you know what, let's just deal with American Airlines, or you know, let's reach out to Delta, and then we actually dealing with these folks like pretty much overnight after you just say it out loud. Like, what do you think makes you so attractive and just make it so cut and dry for you that it just manifests itself the way it does?
I do business right now with over 500 multi-billion-dollar companies. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's lying. Whatever, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because you do business with Johnny at the corner, that's not my problem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not out here like, yo, look at me. But I have right now 500 companies I do business with around the globe.
Right.
They do business with me because I'm effective. I add value to their companies.
Right.
Full stop. Nobody's hiring me because I got a prison story. Nobody's hiring me because I got a hoodie. Nobody's hiring me because I got a nice smile. I can add value to their problem.
Yeah.
That's it. If you add value, they'll make room for you. If you can't add value, they'll kick you out or won't let you in, whichever they call it. I clearly add value. So when Delta Airlines calls me, Apple calls me, AIG, BlackRock calls me, I can name 50 more companies. I understand their company.
Yeah.
I listen to their problem. I give them a practical, efficient solution that's going to help them achieve their goal.
Yeah.
And that's it. And because I fixed their problem, they help me with a check.
Yeah.
That's it. It's fair exchange.
That's good. That's
So many people show up and want to be friends.
yeah.
They want people to be their friend.
Nah,
I want
true.
people to like me. I had a guy call me the other day. Oh, Dre, I want you to. I don't care about being your friend, dude. People are looking for friendship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They call to do business, but they want to be liked.
Yeah.
I don't care if the CEO of company X likes me.
Right.
You hired me to do a job. You're going to pay me to do a job. I don't care if you invite me to your house. Now, I generally get invited to the house too.
Yeah.
But the premise is not friendship. The premise is business.
That's good.
And so many
that's
people
real.
confuse that.
No, I think that we actually worked together closely about, you said 4 years. I couldn't
4 or
clock
5.
it. Yeah, I couldn't clock it off the top of my head. And when we were working together, you were in a completely different space, right? I think if my memory served me correctly, when we met, you just had the DR situation.
We're not going there, but yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I didn't.
Yeah, yeah. No.
Yeah, so you were in a different space and you were building everything that you established at this particular point.
When we first got together, I was restarting.
For sure.
I was in a restart mode. Forget everybody. I was in restart mode.
Right.
I hit a low, I hit a bump, I fell off the horse, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And I was in restart mode.
Okay.
So when I pulled up in Atlanta, I didn't know anybody.
Nobody.
Didn't know how to get from A to Z.
Right.
I pull up, and I wasn't even going to stay in Atlanta. My sister's like, yo, you got to stay. I was going to California.
Okay.
I was going to Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
My goal was I got to restart.
Yeah.
Why not restart where the billionaires live? I'm a great networker.
Right.
I'm a great talker. I'm a great fixer, solution person.
Sure.
So why not go to Silicon Valley in California and base myself there? Why go to Chicago, New York, or LA?
Yeah.
Go where the billionaires are.
Right.
Don't go where they're not and wonder why they're not meeting you. My goal was to go to California, Silicon Valley, set up shop, and then network my way to the top from there.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense.
That was my plan.
So
my sister talked me out of it.
And how do you feel now at this point? You feel like it was a good decision to stay?
I mean, for her,
right.
I mean, it's going to work out regardless.
Yeah, it did work out.
So it would have worked out if I gone to Silicon Valley. It would have worked out if I stayed in Atlanta, if I moved to DC. I'm going to come up regardless.
Right.
Had I gone to Silicon Valley, I'd have had different relationships, but it'd have been similar. You know what I'm saying? My sister was on some, she went to college when I was in middle school, and I went to prison. She said, you was in prison for 14 years. You come home from prison, you go on this whirlwind tour for 15 years. Now you're talking about moving to California. Then you moved out of the country for 5 years. Now you're talking about moving to California. She said, I ain't never going to, I'll be dead by the time I see you.
Yeah.
She said, you need to come here. You got nieces and nephews, and I love you, and it's not all about you.
Right.
So I said, I cool. I flipped it, and I came to Atlanta. But I'm gonna level up. I'd have just done it with different companies in a different space.
No, for sure.
Because I had the same goal.
Yeah.
It just would have been, instead of doing business with Delta, I'd have done business with a hedge fund.
No, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, you definitely got a mind that's bigger. Like your vision, the way you create your visions are definitely the macro. You don't think small at all whatsoever. So my experience was, and we were briefly talking about this before the cameras were coming on, right? My experience was working with you. It was very eye-opening. Like I learned a lot, and our relationship ended. You fired me, actually. And I want to say that you fired me. And at the time, I was mad. I was mad as hell, right? Like I was super upset.
How dare you fire me?
Yeah, bro. That was really how I felt. Like I felt that at the time because I felt like I was very vested, right? But looking back now on the other side of it, man, all I could be at this point is grateful, you know. And the reason I feel that spirit, that humble spirit and gratitude, is because it was so eye-opening, and I used a lot of the principles from what I observed you do. Even, man, we went into a vegan restaurant. Let me just tell you, I don't know. I mean,
Soul Veg.
Soul Veg. So we go in the vegan restaurant. This is like my early vegan days. I think I was vegan for a short period at this point. And we go in this vegan restaurant just to get food, and you turn that into an opportunity Like you end up meeting with the owner and consulting with them, help them like monetize some stuff that they weren't monetizing on just by having a conversation. And I remember thinking, I'm on the phone with you, like having a 3-way call while you're talking about, hey, you guys are missing money right here, right here, right here. If you want my help, like you could do this without me. I just gave you the information, but if you want my help, it's gonna cost X, Y, and Z.
We walked in, was it West End, is it?
It's the West End.
We walk in a restaurant and I see money. I see situations. So when I start talking, people hear what I'm saying.
Right.
And they hear like, whoa, that's real business.
Right.
That's like efficiency.
Yeah.
That's monetization. That
Right.
works. I'm not talking playground stuff.
Right.
I work with billion-dollar companies before I came to Atlanta. So when I came in, I can speak to them and where they want to be, to their next. And I had a contract in 20 minutes of just walking into the restaurant.
You did.
And a check within a week.
You definitely did. And just being able to witness stuff like that, because I mean, to ask people for thousands of dollars just without even knowing them prior to it, at that time, it was a foreign concept to me.
That goes back to people hire me because I bring value.
Right.
She heard, as the owner of the company, 20-year vet in running the business, she heard the value. Yeah. That's why she hired me. I didn't have no fly, I didn't have on a suit. She heard the value, and she recognized there's value there. And what he's saying is accurate, and it makes perfect sense. Right. No smoke and mirrors.
No, that's true. Yeah, so I mean, I watched you do that in real time. Now I don't have a problem, even now, right? And obviously I had, experience with doing it myself on my own, and then as you do it, your confidence goes up after you do it repetitively. But just being able to watch you maneuver scenarios like that, I didn't know it was okay to ask people for thousands of dollars. Like, hey, if you want me to do X, Y, and Z, you're going to need to pay me $5,000, $6,000, $10,000, $15,000. I've done that at this point in my life, but I don't think that without seeing that would have came as easy as it did for me.
People have a phobia of money.
Yeah.
It's like, if what I'm offering is the value makes sense. Am I asking for too much? Am I asking for too much? If you're asking yourself, if you're asking for too much, what you're saying is you're not sure what you're delivering. You're not sure what you're delivering. So $1,000 for my phone, am I asking for too much? $1,000 for my services, am I asking for too much? Yeah. Are you clear on what you're delivering? Yeah. If you go to a restaurant, you pick up a menu, and the menu says the lobster costs more than a hamburger 7 days out of the week. Right. So if you're selling lobster, this is the lobster. The menu, what's your menu? See, I have a menu for my services. Right. And it doesn't change by client. I watch people across the country, they want, how much can you pay me? Huh? I've never walked into a store and they say, how much can you pay? Right. It's like, this is what it is. Right. This is what it costs. Buy it or don't. It's not negotiable. This is what it is. This is what it costs. Buy it or don't. So many people won't write down a menu because they don't believe in the value of their product. Louis not lowering the price of their bag. That's true. Full stop. Louis says, this is a price for a bag, buy it or don't. That's it. And they're not worried about the people who aren't going to buy. Right. Nobody's ever walked out of Marshall's and said, hey, there's a sale at Louis, let's go over there. And nobody's ever walked out of Louis and said, hey, they got 2 for $1 at Marshall's, let's go over there. 2 different buyers. That's good. So I'm clear on my value. I'm clear on my price. Yeah. And I've watched people, price integrity is everything. Yeah. If you can't be like, yo, 5,000 for him or 2,000 for him or 20. That's because once it gets out that you have no integrity. Yeah. See, ethics is everything. Price integrity matters.
Whew, that's spicy. You just threw that out there so casually, but I don't think people hear those 2 words together frequently.
Because people are just running around here trying to charge what they can charge.
Yeah, trying to get whatever they can get.
If you charge a certain price for a certain thing, it shouldn't matter who walks in your door.
That's true.
Well, Dre's worth this. I'm going to triple my price because it's Dre. Right. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Ooh, that's good.
Then once I figure out, that's what you did to me. Yeah. I'm going to look at you like, really? That's how you playing it? Yeah. I can't do business with you anymore.
That's good.
Because your integrity's shot. Yeah. If you don't have no character, then you can't do business. That's good. At any level. And if you're running around just trying to like up your price because you gotta bill due this week,
Yeah,
No, that's not how it works.
No, that's true. Like I know a lot of people who may have needed that because from their perspective, they probably look at it like because I'm servicing this quality of person, you know, I can charge this price. But you're right. It's not right. It's not fair. It doesn't matter who you're servicing.
If your price is your price, let it be.
Yeah, that's
I'm saying now, if you're buying floor seats, that's different than nosebleed seats. So coming into the building, I can't sell you a floor seat for $4,000, then turn around to the next dude, the seat next to you for $30,000.
Yeah. So, but what about negotiating? What about negotiating though? So let's say I'm sitting with a person, and my price in my mind is $30K, and you know, in order to deliver the sale, you say, "Look, bro, I'm only gonna give you 20."
Now you decide your price you can discount, you can accept less.
Okay.
No, accepting less is different. If your price is 30,
yeah,
and I walk in and you charge me 50,
yeah,
because you think I don't know nothing, that's lack of integrity.
That's true.
Now, if you negotiate down to 20 and say, okay, well, I'm gonna do it for 20, but I'm taking these services out because you ain't got 30. Don't not do the deal. What I'm saying is you don't overcharge people.
For sure.
How would you feel if I said, you know something, I charge you $5,000 to do this podcast.
Right.
And you found out I did the same podcast yesterday with somebody else for $2,000.
Yeah.
Like, why did I pay $5,000?
Dang, bro, you fired me and taxing me. This man going crazy. No, but seriously, that makes sense. That's
price
good.
integrity matters because the integrity part is on you.
Right, that's true.
People do business with me because they can believe in me, they can trust me, and I have ethics.
For sure.
When you lose that, then people will see through. It won't just show through in your pricing.
Right.
If you lack integrity,
right,
it's going to show through in your character.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, more ways than one.
So you can't hide who you are.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope. Like I think that's what you do in private definitely shows in public, one way or another. Especially when you're dealing with high level people.
Yeah,
we got a way of seeing through things. You definitely have a way of seeing through things, man. Look. Sometimes when I've had conversations with you, with people, just how you perceive things, and we'll have the conversation after the conversation, like, hey, did you notice this or did you pick up on that? I realize like your radar is next level. It's like you can see exactly what's what, and most of the time, from what I personally observe, you spot on. So that's good.
I grew up in prison.
Yeah.
So you better be able to notice stuff up front, real fast, real quick. Because if not, you might not be here.
Right.
If you can't see stuff coming in prison, you ain't gonna be long. You ain't gonna be around long. One time we was in the block, we chilling, and there was a bunch of young boys there. We in the block, and I'm noticing, I grabbed two young black dudes. Yo, come here. Took them. We went up on the second floor to the back. Mm-hmm. And it was 3 tiers in the block. I took them up on the second floor to the cut. I said, now look around. What do you see? They look around the unit. They said, man, it's a regular dude, regular day. Sunday night, we in prison. Right. I said, what do you see? And they couldn't see nothing. I said, where's all the Spanish dudes at? They're all upstairs. It doesn't seem strange to you that all of them, not one of them is in place. They're all upstairs.
Yeah.
I said, watch what's about to happen. And about 2 minutes later, they start stabbing the dude. They got him in the cell. They got the whole tier blocked off, and they start stabbing the dude. He fighting for his life, busts about the cell, and they chase him downstairs, and he run out the door. And I'm like, y'all didn't see that coming. So you might have been around up on the 3rd tier, just running your mouth and been in the way. You're saying you might have tried to walk down that tier prior to it happening, and you would have got hit up for being in the way because every last one of them dudes is strapped up.
Right.
And they ready for war. They about to murder something. You about to walk by a murder scene and be part of it because you ain't paying attention and you ain't looking. You know what I'm saying? And then we sat there. I said, now watch what comes next. The next thing you know, the COs came running in the block. They locked the block down.
Yeah.
Then the COs made a dummy move and tried to grab the dude, and they started a big beef with the Spanish dudes, and they rumbling. We sitting right on the tiers watching the whole thing. Then next you know, trash cans and TVs came flying off the top tiers, hitting the COs. They all run out the block. Then the next you know, they came back, they hit the button. State troopers, the glass starts smashed from the window, long rifle starts pointing in, and you start seeing tear gas coming at piece. I'm like, are y'all ready? Now it's go time. Because you in it. You in it. This whole block on go time right now. Yeah. You don't have an option. So I rounded all the brothers up and said, yo, we all brothers right here in this section. Yeah. I don't care what gang you from, what's like. We all right here. This is what this is. And we clicked up, stood up. I said, yo, get your shit right. Get some towels. Put them in the toilet. I've got dudes getting towels, sitting them in the toilets because the gas is coming.
Right.
You got to have wet towels for gas. Because if they shut the water off, you got to have wet towels to cover your face. And we gearing up for what might be coming. You know what I'm saying? Versus just wandering around like, yo, they ain't going to do with me. Yes, it do. Because when they come through that door, yeah, they Spanish, they white, and we black, but to them, we all prisoners.
Everybody.
We prisoners.
Everybody a prisoner.
They ain't talking about,
it's y'all against them.
It just went us against them.
Yeah.
And some of these dudes on some, man, that's just a Spanish beef. That's how you see it.
Yeah.
The state troopers coming in, seeing motherfuckers in orange.
They trying to regulate.
They ain't asking, are you with them?
Right.
So but again, we go into defense mode, man, and war mode. And some dudes were scared to death. Yeah. They shaking. Yeah. Man, you will kill on the street. Man, they got knives out. You looking at rifles pointed at you from the roof. It was about 8 minutes, man. A helicopter, you heard it come. I didn't been through this before. But a lot of these dudes ain't never been through this.
Right.
So understanding, I'm saying, being able to see stuff coming.
Right.
I've watched people, man, get hurt because they didn't see in the way. One time there was beef between white dudes and black dudes. And the way they set the beef off, they just walking, dudes in his cell minding his business, watching TV, feet up. Man, they ran in his cell, stabbed that boy about 7 times as a way of setting the beef off. He had nothing to do with the beef. But they just wanted to set it off. They went in and hit him up, bang, bang, bang. Then they fell back. He came out screaming, oh, they hit me up, which made the brothers go into response mode. They didn't think it through, and then they went into attack mode, and they weren't even geared up right.
Right.
Then they got caught back one, and they just went into a whole thing.
Right.
So you sitting in your cell watching TV ain't got nothing to do with out there.
Right.
But if you in the building, you in the building.
Right.
That's what they say. Everybody on the court can get fouled. You ain't got. It's not just to do with the ball.
Yeah, that's real.
If you on the court, you subject to get fouled. And in the penitentiary, that might be a knife to your throat. I'm saying somebody choking you out, throwing you off the tier. So that being unaware, I don't come from that place.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a extreme circumstance to make sure you have those abilities like that. I don't know a dynamic that's more extreme than some of the stories.
It's called get it right or die.
Right. Yeah.
If you don't get it right, you walk down the wrong tier at the wrong time, you die. I was in Oklahoma in the feds, and Oklahoma, been to El Reno. If anybody ever been to El Reno, it's like Oklahoma block is like straight out of the movies. It's like 6 tiers high, and it looks like a movie set.
Yeah.
And we came back from Chow. You could go up the back stairs.
Right.
So I came back from Chow. It's like a couple hundred, 1,000 people in the block. I go up the back stairs to my cell. I'm on like the 5th floor. So I'm in my cell. When they called Chow to come out, or they called Chow, I had this like, oh, I know what I'm gonna do. Everybody's going to the middle and down the middle. I said, I'm gonna beat the rush. I'm smarter than anybody else. I'm gonna go down the back staircase. I go to the end of the tier. I go down the staircase. I get to the bottom of the fire rock. The door locked. It's only open on the come in. When they're letting people in, they leave the back staircase open.
Right.
When they let out for Chow, that shit locked.
Right.
I didn't know that. So I thought I was beating the rush. And I'm going to cut around. I don't like waiting. So I'm running down the back staircase. And as soon as I hit that gate and it was locked, you know what I thought? I'm about to die. Because if there's any other team or gang or whatever you want to call them, saw the rookie doing the dumb shit, they're like, oh, we can go kill his ass right now. And he don't know where he at. He's trapped in the bottom of the staircase.
Right.
If 4 or 5 dudes came down them stairs, they're going to find me right there.
Right.
So the first thing I hit, I said, I'm about to die. First thought hit my mind. Then I said, I got to get back upstairs and get back. Now, this goes back to the thing in the other block. I got to go back to my floor. I can't go up to the 2nd floor, the floor above me, and just go down. I don't live on that floor.
What floor were you on?
I lived on the 5th.
Oh,
I came down to the 1st. Now, I got to go all the way back up to the 5th, down my tier, then down the main stairs.
Right.
Because if I go on the 2nd floor, the 3rd floor, the 4th floor, who knows what they're doing on that floor?
Right.
If I come racing down your tent, they down there doing whatever.
Yeah.
What he doing? He don't live around here.
Right.
Now they pulling up on you.
Right.
I might be running through somebody else's business. I can't 2, 3, 4 out of bounds for me.
Yeah.
I could go back to 5. So the whole time I'm like, nigga, run.
Yeah.
I'm praying nobody saw me make this dumb mistake.
Right.
That's exactly what it was. It was like could be a death mistake.
Right.
I ran back up them stairs. I ran down the tier. I ran down the main stairs and ran my butt out that block.
I mean, obviously you here today, so it worked out.
Again, had there been a team that saw me
Right.
and said, yo, let's go murder that dude. There are groups that don't like you because you're black. There are groups that don't like you because you're from the East Coast. There are groups that just don't like you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And they murder people.
So these scenarios, these stories that you're giving are very extreme, and most people probably can't relate to it in no form or fashion, nowhere near that extreme. But how do you take those experiences and translate them to the success that you're having in order to win? How do you navigate life now using those said experiences?
When I walk into a business deal, I used to walk around prison and look for every glitch that they let me hustle. Every glitch let me make a knife. Every glitch let me get something past a guard. Every glitch to let me come up on something.
Right.
I walk into a room, I look for every glitch in your scenario. I look for every glitch in your personality. I look for every glitch in this building that's gonna allow me to get over on this deal.
Wow.
I went to a school in St. Louis. I look for every glitch in that school that allow kids not to learn.
What are you referring to the elementary school?
I went to the middle school.
High school. I was with you at the elementary school. I don't know if you recall. We went to the elementary school, and you was talking to the kids. As a matter of fact, you ended up getting Southwest. You was putting together a mural in the hallway. I don't know if we got it done.
I've done so much stuff.
But yeah, bro, like, we did do a lot of stuff in the very short period of time.
When I walk into a situation, I'm looking for the gaps.
Wow.
And I'm trained to see gaps.
Yeah.
I'm trained to see weakness.
I can see
I'm
that.
trained to see what is your weakness. I'm saying, and I'm going to try to exploit that. I'm saying, do you have a complex about something? Do you have a fear about something?
Yeah.
Are you scared of confrontation? Confrontation isn't always physical.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's verbal.
That's true.
Sometimes it's just spacing.
Right.
I'm saying, so I look for these things. Do you have an inferiority complex? Do you have imposter syndrome? I'm saying, what can I exploit without it being nonverbal?
Yeah, that's good.
I'm saying, so I go into a deal and I look for that thing that's going to allow me to get an edge. I'm saying, projected strength versus projected weakness. I'm saying, people project weakness, invite aggression. People project strength, invite followers. So people tend to want to follow me versus attack me.
That's good.
Because I understand what I'm projecting. And I understand I can change my projection. It's like when you meet a nice girl for the first time in the mall, you switch your whole flow up. You know what I'm saying? You get really nice, really polite, and you're projecting the thing that you think is going to...
I'm not really good at that personally.
But you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you can project it. You going for a job interview. You project. Yeah. You can change your projection even though you're not really conscious of it.
For sure.
I'm super conscious of it.
That's good.
So you go into a job interview, you switch up. You meet a girl at the mall, you switch up. You go to church, you switch up. And you're not doing it consciously. Right. You're just doing it automatically. I intentionally do.
Wow. I mean, that was one of the questions I wanted to ask you for sure, because I've seen you navigate in rooms that most people don't even know exist, right? Like I've been able to see it in person. Like I heard you mention Dave Spence, and I actually got the opportunity to meet him because you actually introduced us, and just seeing you navigate, those conversations and those relationships, the way you foster them, and it's like you always true to who you are in all of those scenarios, but at the same time you're masterful with understanding how to speak a person's language where they are. So if you're talking to a person that's worth tens of millions of dollars, or if you're talking to little kids that need some support, you know exactly how to communicate in their world. Where do you think that comes from?
That comes from two ways. My mom taught me how to communicate. So being around my mom, she's a master communicator. Just growing up with her, give mom's props first.
Right.
And in prison, the role I had was negotiator. So when the different gangs, the different sections, the different things had beefs or whatever, I negotiated that. So I'm sitting with the Irish, I'm sitting with the Italian, I'm sitting with the Latinos, I'm sitting with the blacks, I'm sitting with, the Asians, and I'm doing mediation every day.
Wow.
Because there's always some kind of tension, some kind of something. I'm the guy from our team who's doing negotiations. So I learned to do that.
Right.
The time they had to riot in the block, when the COs came to shut it down, when they came back, they're like, yo, who's talking on behalf of the prisoners? They say, where's Dre at? Because we know his word is good.
Yeah.
I'm saying that goes back to the character and integrity.
Yeah.
I'm saying nobody wants somebody who doesn't have a good word and doesn't have integral, doesn't have leadership qualities.
That's true.
So I learned in prison so much stuff.
Yeah.
Then what I had to learn when I came home is how to re-slot it in to what's happening out here.
Yeah, that's
So negotiating in prison,
yeah.
I negotiate corporate deals is so much easier. Nobody has a knife at the table. Nobody
Yeah,
has a
true.
knife at the table.
Yeah, that's true. It's not life or death. You make a mistake, you'll live.
Well, listen, life or death is in prison. Out here, it's super easy. So I used to do extortion in jail. I'd protect people who couldn't afford it, who couldn't protect themselves. You pay me a fee, I protect you. So I learned how to read weakness.
Ooh, that's
So now I go in these rooms, I see weakness in these people. I know how to approach them. I see somebody who's strong, I know how to communicate with them. You know what I'm saying? So you speak to the person, you know what I'm saying, not to the circumstance. So in jail, there's three types of people. There's leaders, there's followers, and there's people get beat up just for waking up. Now, you won't know the difference, but I know the difference once I start talking to them because they're going to show themselves.
right.
So when I go into a business room, I know who's really in charge. Doesn't matter, not always the person talking.
Right.
And I don't tap dance or cartwheel. I speak to people like people.
Yeah,
That's it. You just have to understand, are you talking to a leader? You talking to a middle manager? You talking to the dude who parks the cars?
Yeah, that correlation I think is the way you translated those lessons into real life. Most people, I think a lot of people, especially street dudes, have a lot more ability than they understand because the only application that they understand or have experienced is within the means of what they're currently doing.
So many dudes in the street, so many dudes in the penitentiary, man, those are the new leaders. You know what I'm saying? Those are the people they want to do business with because you done been tried and tested.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody want no dude just out of college who ain't never been through nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
They want somebody who's been through something. We say in the street, if you ain't never been in the penitentiary, you can't rock with us because we don't know if you're going to stand up when it gets tough.
Right.
Businesses are the same way. Are you going to flake under pressure? Are you going to sell me out for $10? You know what I'm saying? If you offer $10,000 in a better parking spot, you're going to quit my company because there's no legality from you leaving the company A to company B. So they want people who are loyal. They want people who are going to stand up, people who are trustworthy, people who've been through some stuff. Right. That's what corporations want. And that's what dudes from the penitentiary got. Dudes who survive the street. I've never seen somebody be in a gang, quit their gang, join the other gang and shoot back. Never seen it. And corporations happen all the time. How many times did LeBron James switch teams?
Like at least three, 4 times.
3-4 times. He was with the Cleveland. He went to Miami, came back to Cleveland, went to LA. Now he's thinking about coming back to Cleveland. Come on.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving bounced around Oklahoma. He over here, then he over here. James Harden started here, went there. He's on his 4th team.
Yeah.
You can't do that in penitentiary. You can't do that.
Yeah.
So corporations want people who are loyal.
Mm.
And I actually was in London in 2002, and dude was during the break. The dude was like, "Yo, man, our top VP just quit our company while we was going for the contract and joined the other company that was our rival.
That was bidding
against them. Now he works for them." I said, "How that work?" He said, "Man, it works like we're gonna lose the deal." He said because he's been running the deal for 18 months.
Yeah.
He quits, goes join them. It's going to take us a year to get up to speed again. He has all the relationships, all the information. We lost that deal.
That's crazy.
I was like, how does that work? He said, it happens all the time. I said, never had I seen dudes move down south, check in the PC, all kinds of stuff, but never join the other team and shoot back. They said, Dre, can you teach our people that type of loyalty? So I do a corporate retention program based on gang loyalty, and it pays.
And with corporations.
If you're corporate retention based on gang loyalty, I teach loyalty, which I learned in the street and in the penitentiary, to corporations, minus the guns and knives.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, it's kind of ironic that this came up because a lot of people in the media talking about YSL. I'm not sure if you're familiar with what's going on with Young Thug and Gunna specifically. I mean, obviously it's a lot more people, but they're the highest profile because they're popular rappers. Like basically, Gunna took a plea. He plead out, and they released him. They gave him time served because he admitted the fact that YSL is a gang. Just based on that, like a lot of people are arguing back and forth on whether or not he was being disloyal just by taking a plea to free himself.
Right.
Right. So my question to you is just based on some of the things you're saying, switching up and being corporate. Like, do you feel like what he did, considering their business and personal relationship, was disloyal to his overall organization or to Young Thug specifically?
I would say this. As someone who's been in the penitentiary, someone who's been in the street, someone who's been in circumstances where I got co-defendants, you know what I'm saying? I would never speak on another man's situation in court. So I watch all these TV shows and YouTube channels, and everybody got commentary.
Right.
About what the next man did or didn't do, what he should or shouldn't done.
Right.
You can go on every channel, every interview I've ever done. I won't speak on another grown man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I agree, disagree, I see it. I have my opinion, but that's my opinion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So unless it's, if you he did this to me, what do you how do you feel about that? What he did to you, then that's different.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
What that man did and what he did with his people and how they worked that out, you know what I'm saying? I don't believe, you know what I'm saying, as somebody from the penitentiary,
right,
I comment on another man's situation.
I get it. I guess my question, I wasn't really
I got the question.
Yeah.
I don't comment ever.
Got you.
On anybody's situation like that. When you can watch all my videos, you never say, well, such popular news, current events.
Yeah.
Nah, in the penitentiary, we don't do that.
Yeah.
In the penitentiary, we don't talk about the next man. Unless it affects, now, if we got a situation, we all right here.
And it affects you directly.
We're going to talk about, okay, that happened on the block, and how we going to handle our business in reference to that. But I'm not in that box.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I get it.
In our life, we talk about what's going to affect us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So their whole situation, good, bad, or indifferent, you know what I'm saying? I just believe, man, in penitentiary rules, and we don't speak on other men.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Regardless. Now, you're supposed to say, I ain't supposed to say shit.
No, for sure.
You know, that's just me.
You supposed to stand on your own merit. Whatever your philosophies are.
I'm not saying my whole comment to his situation is it's his situation.
Yeah. I respect that.
Yeah. So
I respect that 100%.
I watch people. I don't need to get famous like having commentary about a grown man. Because in the penitentiary, I never had a commentary on a grown man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just not, people have YouTube channels on that shit. That's just not my flow.
Yeah.
I teach business. I teach people how to come home and level up. I teach people how to get their mind right and all the, but just commentary, nah.
Yeah. I respect that. I respect that. One of the questions I did want to ask you, because I mean I've gotten to see you operate at a very high level, up close and personal, but you know, and it still marvels me, like coming from the background you come from, because I think a lot of people, after going through so much and having so much history that a lot of people deem to be something that can hold you back, you are still operating, like I said before, at a high level, dealing with organizations like YPO. Like I've never even heard of certain companies like Genius Network or any of these organizations prior to coming in contact with you. But not only are you well aware of these networks, but you're dealing with these high-level entrepreneurs on a consistent basis. How do you go from having a background where you're noted as a dangerous person, or at least on you know, having a record of being on paper, right, to making these high-level people comfortable, I think is the word. Because I mean, obviously you got the savviness to negotiate scenarios, but I think that, and even in the back of my mind, being a young black African American, that in some rooms people will look at me and judge those characteristics, and you know, it would make me feel a certain sense of uncomfort. How do you just go in there with a high level of confidence and feel like, you know what, I'm here, this is what I offer? What's the deal?
Everybody at the circus loves the tiger.
Say that again?
Everybody at the circus loves the tiger.
Everybody at the circus loves the tiger. What do you mean?
You ever watch Shaqq, Phil, and Roy? Thousands of people every year went to Vegas to see Shaqq, Phil, and Roy. They used to keep a tiger in a cage.
What's the name of the show?
Shaqq, Phil, and Roy. The two white dudes had the tigers in the cage.
Man, I don't know the top of my head.
You go to Vegas.
It's probably huge, but you know, I only been to Vegas a few times.
For years.
Okay.
For years. You remember the crocodile guy? He used to go wrestle with the crocodiles?
Yeah.
Everybody watched that shit.
Yeah, Crocodile Dundee.
Crocodile dude. He go wrestle with the crocodiles. There was a show in Vegas where these two dudes would lock themselves in a cage with a tiger.
Okay.
Or a lion, tiger, whatever the damn thing was, right?
Right.
And they did it for decades. You know what I'm saying? And people would come, sit in the audience, pay hundreds of dollars to see this dude get in a cage with a tiger.
Okay.
And eventually the tiger ate his ass. His tie ran up. I ain't making fun of him, right?
Okay, that's great.
But for years.
I'm trying to make sure I understand the what you're communicating.
What I'm saying is, for years,
yeah,
people flew to Vegas, went to the show. I think it was Siegfried and Roy, and they would go watch these two dudes will lock themselves in a cage by the size of this room with a real tiger. And they get it to stand on its legs and jump on a chair and do all this other trick stuff.
Yeah, like
people
on some Cirque du
love
Soleil type vibes.
dangerous.
Okay.
They love the dangerous.
People love
they
dangerous.
They pay to go see that.
Yeah.
You tune in to watch this dude play with a crocodile. Why? It's dangerous. People love that. People love Mike Tyson because he was dangerous. Nobody likes their friendly champion. Nobody loved Mike because he was brutal. People wanted to be near Mike.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
People
wild.
all man, because Mike was like that beast. Mike was like beast mode, 100%. There's been thousands of champions. Why we all love Mike Tyson? Hey, dude, Floyd,
when I think of Mike Tyson, I do think like, yo, he really could bite your head off.
Mayweather, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Nobody's scared of Floyd Mayweather. Love Floyd. But Tyson, he was dangerous. I ain't trying to box Floyd no day of the week.
No.
I ain't going to win.
No, for sure.
It's not about win or loss, but I'm saying people like what they're scared of. That's why they got scary movies. People line up to go to scary movies because they like to be in that space.
Right.
So people like me because I got that edge. They like, oh man, he's dangerous. I'm the tiger, but I'm not in the damn cage. So I'll be in places, people want to see me like roar once in a while. You can't be a tiger with no nails, or no claws, no teeth. You can't be like, then you're just a cat. You're a house pet.
A big cat.
You're a house pet.
A house pet.
So what happens is people like to be around dangerous.
Yeah.
They like to be around edgy.
Okay.
So having Andre around is like, yeah, I'm with the edgy dude. I'm with the dangerous dude. So hey, now and again, I let him know, listen, don't get like fucked up.
Yeah, right.
You can catch it. So I can't be a house cat. You know what I'm saying? People go on safari for what?
We'll get up close and personal.
With what? Dangerous animals.
Yeah, the dangerous.
I'm a walking safari. People fly to Africa to go watch dangerous animals up close.
How do you even, like, I'm not, like, yo, you are, that's bars. That's a super bar. Because I think that a lot of people think the exact opposite. Like, at what point did you even come to this conclusion? Like, how do you, like, at what point did you go, oh, you know what, people actually do value this?
Yeah. I mean, I add value on a business line.
Right.
But what's the differential between me and you? I'm that dangerous dude.
When you say you talking about me,
just don't say me and whoever.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I don't know, man. I'm not documented or nothing, but I'm not a teddy bear, bro.
I ain't call you a teddy bear, bro. I'm just saying.
I'm just messing
like
with
danger.
you, man. I know. I get it.
People like danger. That's why they drive cars fast and all the rest of that stuff.
Yeah,
people like
true.
what they can't do and what they can't be.
Wow.
So we watch, you know what I'm saying, the Navy SEALs. Why we like the Navy SEALs? They're the most elite killing force on the planet.
Yeah.
That's why we like the Navy SEALs.
I think that if I'm a top tier corporate guy and I'm doing business at a high level, you know, I'm just putting myself in these other people's shoes, and then I come across a guy who's as articulate as you are, and who have the backstory and can deliver on the things that I know that you can deliver on. That would stand out to me a lot, because I'm just imagining the type of people that they deal with on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month.
A, they kiss their ass. B, they don't see the shit that I see. When I get around somebody, I can see your weaknesses.
Yeah.
So if you're the corporate CEO, nobody's going to tell you your weaknesses. Everybody's going to agree with you. I'm going to put you aside. I'm like, yo, Shaq, you weak right here. You're exposed right here. I'm saying that dude right there, he's plotting on you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm the ultimate vision. I'm night vision for you. I'm saying the stuff that you can't see, Dre see. Stuff that ain't nobody else going to tell you, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm saying, because I'm not here for a check. I'm here for loyalty. I'm saying, I'm not here for a week. I'm here, we're going to bury each other. The friends I have that you've met,
Yeah.
I'm going to funerals.
Right.
They coming to my wedding. They coming to my, if I die today, those people that you met are coming to my funeral.
Yeah.
And if some of them died, I'm going to their funeral.
I believe that.
I've been to weddings, I've been to parties, I've been to all that.
Yeah.
Because it's not just a transactional thing.
Right.
But people like me or want to be around me.
Yeah.
I'm articulate, I'm different, I'm all the rest of that. Plus, they like being around danger.
That's real. I'm
the tiger that's out of the cage.
Right. And you're able to control yourself. Like you have a certain poise about yourself that's not
threatening. I'm not outwardly threatening, but
yeah.
How many times have we seen I think Mike Tyson bought a tiger. We love that picture. Like, oh shit, he got a tiger.
Yeah. That's true.
Different than a pit bull.
Yeah, that is definitely different. That's the next level, bro. This man, he crazy with a crazy animal, which makes him even more crazy.
Which makes him more attractive.
Yeah, that's true. It's like, yo, this wild man just bought a tiger. You right.
And you watch that.
That's real.
Had he bought a German Shepherd, would you a kid?
Nah, I probably wouldn't even know.
We know he bought a tiger.
Yeah, that's true.
People like danger.
Yeah.
And they want to be close to it.
That's real. Let's talk about the Academy of Hope, because I know that's a project that you've been working on for a good amount of time, and is positive. You know, I think that the first time I heard about it, I knew that you were going to make a significant impact, but I mean, and you have in real life. So, you know, can we talk about a little bit? I know you started in South Carolina. Are you still only in South Carolina?
We're in South Carolina. We've been in South Carolina. We've been in Virginia.
Okay.
We've been in Michigan. We've been in Indiana. We've been in Massachusetts. We've been here in Georgia. We've been to Florida. We go across the country, Texas.
So let's talk about what it actually is for the audience, because I know a lot of them may not be familiar. I mean, obviously, I know you, and I've been watching you, so I know what Academy of Hope actually is. But can you share what it's about?
Academy of Hope is a violence reduction program for other gang leaders and gang members run by us. So it's a program for us, by us. Saying it's not a third-party PhD or somebody with a great heart or someone who's been saved in the church who wants to come back and heal people.
Right.
This is people who've been in the trenches, who was bosses and leaders in the trenches, coming back and showing love to people, showing them the way.
Right.
So I spent 2.5 years in solitary confinement. I've been charged multiple times with attempted murders in prison. I've been on federal airlifts and all the rest of that stuff.
Right.
So when I walk into a prison, I speak the language.
Right.
I'm saying was them, still am them. They can look at me and be like, yo, he made it, I can make it.
Right.
Dre, how did you make it from there to here?
Right.
And I can actually articulate to them how they can make it from where they are to where they want to be, because I walked it.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? So I walked down 100-year sentence. I went to court and I flipped my case. Dre, you can flip your case? Yeah. We flipped a couple cases. My big homie had a natural life sentence. We flipped his case.
That's crazy.
We flipped a couple cases and got dudes out. So how does the law work? Let me explain to you about the law work.
Right.
Let me explain to you about programming.
That's dope.
Let me explain to you about attitude. Let me explain to you about disposition. Let me tell you about the programs inside that you can use to leverage to get out. You know what the biggest program I took inside was?
What's that?
It wasn't Toastmasters. It wasn't anger management. It wasn't none of that. It was a culinary class.
What?
Culinary class.
Oh, okay.
I'm a chef.
Oh yeah.
I'm a licensed chef.
I didn't know that.
That's my if the one class I took over all else I would not give back would be my culinary class.
You know how to put together some vegan dishes or not?
Nah, they didn't have vegan dishes in the 90s.
It's all good, bro.
I
Just
do
had to
rocks
ask, man.
Rocks
you know
and sticks. No, but real talk. I joined the culinary class.
Yeah.
We do baking, we do meats, and we do service.
That's
so
crazy.
You come in, they put you on meats for a week. You make pot roast, steaks, hamburgers, whatever.
Right.
They put you in the bakery for a week. You make all the desserts. They put you out in the dining room for a week. You learn how to serve and take orders and stuff.
Yeah.
So I did the first rotation. Second rotation, I'm back on the baking again. I hit my baking week, and I love baking. It was just like, I love this. I'm like, this is my thing.
Yeah.
I mean, just making stuff and seeing something go from flour and sugar and powder to actual cakes.
Yeah.
I love that concept.
I'm not gonna lie, it is interesting watching that happen.
But the crazy part was, I said, I'm gonna make my own cake.
Oh yeah.
If I go to make a cake and throw stuff together, throw it in the oven, it don't come out right.
Okay.
It came out lopsided.
Oh, okay.
Because I did it my way.
Right.
You know, I'm articulate, I'm fast, I'm cool. I ain't got to follow the recipe.
Right.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I made like 5 cakes. None of them came out. After like a week of me messing up cakes, the director came to me and said, yo, Dre, having a hard time with them cakes. Yeah, this shit ain't working. He said, how about you follow the recipe?
Read the book.
He said, no, follow the recipe.
Follow the recipe to the T.
And he walked me through following the recipe. And you know what happened?
What?
The cake came out. Baking is a science project. You can't cut corners. It says a half a teaspoon of baking powder, you can't switch it.
That's
2 cups
good.
of sugar, so much flour, so much butter, whatever it says, it's a science project.
Right.
And you have to follow the instructions.
Yeah, that's good.
So for 2 years, I'm in a culinary class. So for 2 years, I had to follow instructions to get the thing I wanted on the back end.
Right.
Something I had never done before in my life, follow instructions.
Never followed instructions.
I'm the coolest, fastest talking dude I know. Why would I follow instructions? Baking taught me how to follow instructions and be patient. It says do X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, wait for 2 hours, wait for 40 minutes, preheat, following. When I try to do it on my own strength, it never came out.
Right.
When I did it the way the recipe said, it always came out. Yeah. Then I learned how to finesse the recipe, but I still went with the recipe.
Right.
So the culinary class taught me how to follow instructions, which has been the single biggest lesson that's helped me on this side of the wall is being able to follow instructions.
That's good.
I create a lesson plan and I follow it through. I don't skip steps. And a lot of my comrades skip steps.
Right.
Because they get impatient, they get tired, they ain't good at something, so they skip steps.
Yeah.
So how do you take a culinary class and build a multi-million-dollar company? You follow the instructions.
Wow.
You don't skip steps. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the difference between a brother who knows how to make some cookies and myself, a chef, a licensed chef, is if he's following a recipe and it goes bad, he doesn't know how to fix it. As a chef, I know how to fix it.
That's good.
So, but the strongest thing it taught me was to follow instructions, which was a weakness for me that I didn't even recognize.
Yeah.
So there are classes inside that have nothing to do, in theory, with your success.
Right.
But I can pinpoint my success to that culinary class.
Yeah. Seeing the big picture with small things is a talent that you have. Like you can take an experience and find the bigger picture in that experience.
Yeah. I didn't know at the time.
Yeah.
But it was just for me to get the result.
Right.
I had to do this.
Right.
So now I'm out here now. For me to get the results I want, I got to do this. And so many people say, hey, man, you want this thing here, but this is what you got to do. And they're trying to find a way to get through it faster. Ooh. They're trying to cut a corner. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to call their mans in. It says, bring this person in. You trying to put your homie in the slot. It don't call for your homie in this slot. It calls for dude in the slot. Well, I don't like him, so I'm not going to call him. I'm going to call somebody I like. You got to go with the recipe. Like right now, everything's digital. My homies don't do digital. So I got to hire people who ain't the homies.
That's a bar.
So
people try to
skip steps and then slot people that they feel like that they want in the spot. Ooh. Sometimes you need the right people in the right position to get the result that you want. But following instructions is so hard to do. And it took me about a month of burning cakes before I learned to begin to follow instructions.
At what point did you go from just making the cake the appropriate way to understanding that not only is following instructions a problem that I have, but I need to start making sure I implement this in other ways other than looking at this recipe book?
At the time, I didn't make the correlation. I just wanted the cake. I wanted the cookies. I wanted the pies. And I did it the way the thing. I wasn't saying this is going to help me in another part of my life.
Right.
I look back now and I see that it did.
Yeah.
So I'm like, where did I learn this at? Like you saying, well, when you was riding with me, I was annoying as hell to you.
I didn't say that.
Well,
I didn't say that on camera.
Post, you can look back and see, well, I learned this from Dre.
Yeah.
I learned this from this situation with Dre. Even though at the time it wasn't pleasant.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even getting fired. Dre fired me. At the time you weren't happy. You can look back now and see the benefit and the lesson from it.
Yeah.
So being able to look back and go through your experiences and turn them into lessons, not losses.
Right.
So many people turn them into losses and they get emotional.
That's a fact.
I got people who still don't like me because I fired them.
Right.
They're emotional about it.
Yeah.
So they're taking it as a loss, not as a lesson.
Yeah. I man, we were both entrepreneurs from jump when we first met. You know, I had an entrepreneurial mind, and your mind was developed. You were in a different place. And when I saw that, I said, you know what? It's a lot of benefit that I can have if I accepted being this guy's number two, that me being my own number one wouldn't provide me at the time. So, man, I'm happy that I had that experience. So you're right. You 100% correct. That was it definitely took a while to get to that point though. It took a while.
I remember I tried to pay you. You was on some, nah, man. I'm like, yo, take this money. Nah, man. I'm like, yo, take this money.
I had bigger vision, bro. I had a bigger vision. Like I was trying to really build.
You had a bigger head. You had a big head at the time.
Man, maybe you're right.
And it was like, yo, I'm like, dude, I'm sitting with you. I'm trying to be humble, trying to be nice. I'm like,
maybe
yo,
you're
bro.
right, man.
I'm like, yo,
I can't even recall all the experience at this point. It's like a whole lifetime worth of stuff that has happened ever since. But I have moments where I look back. Like right now, I'm about to build houses, and I remember as I'm about to build my mom a house and myself a house, it's like I want to get a plot of land, and I'm gonna build a house for my mom in the front of the property, and then I'm gonna build my house in the back. And then I'm thinking like, where is this coming from?
St.
And then
Louis.
I remember
the house in St. Louis.
Yo, Mr. Dave had like his family house, and then it's like, yo. And the people around me look at me like, yo, how are you, like, where's this coming from? And I'm just thinking to myself,
exposure.
Exposure. Just seeing it. Just being there to see it. It became real for me.
Yeah.
I knew
you can have a lake in your backyard and a golf course.
I knew somebody's living like this. And then I got to interact with them. Then I got to, talk and just see how they thought. And I realized, like, these are just people.
Yeah.
And once you come to that conclusion, I mean, and I know that sounds like duh, like who, of course not people, but
people see the 350 million.
Right.
Oh, he got 350 million. Or
yeah.
He got this 12-acre estate.
Right.
And he got a pond in his back. He had a golf course in his backyard.
Yeah. Well, it was too cold for us to really go outside.
But he got a golf course
but
in his
yeah,
backyard.
I already know it was crazy. I didn't see half the house.
So what happens is people see the stuff.
Right.
And they stop.
That's true.
Stuff doesn't matter.
Right.
I'm saying, oh, he got an iPhone 14, he got the iPhone 18, he got a Benz, he got a Ferrari. They're looking at the stuff.
Yeah.
They're not looking at the character of the man. David Spencer is one of the most integral dudes I've ever met.
Yeah.
I'm saying he is one of the most down-to-earth, honest. I'm not even as honest. I can't even claim to be that honest. How do you describe Dave? Honest.
Yeah.
It's like if you had to go find one word to hit, honest.
Yeah.
Integral, honest. That's Dave to his core. Yeah. He ain't gonna lie. He ain't gonna cheat you. He ain't gonna do nothing sideways.
Yeah.
Honest.
Yeah. He was definitely pleasant. Like,
and that's who he is.
Yeah.
But people see the plane, the big house, the cars, and the factories, and like they want that.
Right.
But you don't get that without being honest.
Yeah, that's true.
So the lessons I get from him is you can have all this, Dre, if you're honest. You can have all this, Dre, if you're integral. You can have all of this, Dre, if you collaborate. But if you're cheating people, you're cutting people's throat, and you're lying to folks, you ain't gonna get none of this. You ain't gonna get none of this.
That's
what
real.
you're gonna end up with is a house by yourself someplace with all your stuff.
Right.
I'm saying you can wear your watches in a room by your damn self.
Right. It's real.
I was with a friend of mine a couple weeks ago, and he's in his 80s. He's one of the biggest speakers ever. Mm-hmm. And I'm at his house. He's living by his wife passed a little while ago. And I stayed with him for a couple days. Mm-hmm. And I'm walking around his house. He has pictures of his entire life. He met his wife when he was 17. Mm-hmm. They got married when he was 21. It's his only girlfriend ever. He went from 17 to 81 with one person.
Dang.
17 years old to 81 with one person.
That's different.
And they had kids, grandkids, and the rest. But I'm walking around his house. His house is full of their pictures of their life journey. I said, this is what the ending of a life should look like. That you're sitting in a house and every wall in his house has memories from what you've done. So what memories are you creating? He didn't have pictures of cars on his wall. He didn't have pictures of houses on his wall. He had pictures with his wife, with his kids, taking trips and skiing and doing stuff. There was no pictures of jewelry on his wall.
Right.
It was pictures of a life well lived.
That's good.
I said to myself, I want to be 85 years old with memories on my wall.
Right.
And I don't want memorabilia. I want memories.
That's good. That's real, man.
So
that's real.
I mean, that's what it comes down to. And people sitting in right now.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you about that.
This is technology.
Yeah.
Inventive Technology is a company based in Dallas. and they make these tablets.
You mind if I see it?
Yeah, everybody in the hood calls them JPay. If you call home from prison, it's a JPay tablet.
A JPay.
JPay. That's
yeah,
the name
I
of
know
the
about JPay. My brother's actually in prison right now.
And he calls them on JPay.
Yeah.
On Securus.
Yeah.
They have tablets. So I'll take this interview.
Yeah.
Now upload it to that tablet, and 650,000 people will see it.
Wow.
I do educational programs. I do music programs. I do world tours.
Yeah.
And I'm always going to reach back out to the penitentiary.
That's good.
I can't go to every penitentiary.
Right.
But with this,
you could be everywhere.
650,000 cells, 650,000 hands. Yeah. I've been in prisons all across the country, but now technology works.
That's good.
And I just make podcasts, make movies, make stuff, and just put it on here for the brothers and sisters.
That's good.
I still go in sometimes, but I go in every day with this.
Yeah, that's good. That's dope, man.
So it's like, how do you reach more people without, minimizing your message?
Man, that's fire. I actually learned that before. In order to get wealthy, it was a principle. It's either one or two ways. Either you serve a lot of people, or you serve a person that serves a lot of people. Right. And those are the two formulas. And with that, you're able to serve a lot of people. But you actually mastered both, because you serve people who serve a lot of people, and you're servicing a lot of people yourself.
Yeah. So what happens is people get in the rooms and don't know why. Right. I teach people. I got a course. It's not how to get in the room. It's how to stay in the room.
Oof.
I watched tons of people get in the room and go out the other door. They're like, what happened? Most often, when people get in the room, they're still trying to get in the room. They do the stuff that you do to get in the room. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Right. Flashing and flashing. That got you in the room. Yeah. That's not what keeps you in the room. Right. So you got to switch up and figure out how to stay in the room.
Yeah, that's real.
And so many people don't know how to switch up and level up to what do you need to do to stay isn't what it took to get you here. So they get in and they're moving like somebody trying to get in the room. Right. Which means they're not functioning in the space. Right. You're outside, you got to do all this stuff to get in. But now that you're in, you're still doing the stuff that you did outside, so it doesn't fit in here. Yeah. Like, man, he don't know how to act in here. Get him out of here. Wow. And they show you the back door, and you don't get an invitation to come back.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I think about when I'm thinking about as you describe that, is like a cardboard cutout. It's like when you see somebody, they visually look like they got it all together, but then when you get close enough, you realize like there's no foundation here. There's no, like, you just look like you supposed to be the person, but in reality, you don't have no backing, no foundation. It's just like a cardboard cutout.
When you get in the room, it's different.
Yeah.
I'm saying now you have to say, okay, what do I need to do to stay? Now I got to add value. Out there, I got to be flashy. Right. I got to be the shiny object. Right. That gets you in.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
Once you are in, now what?
Now it's time to deliver.
Now you got to deliver. How many people got drafted to the NBA and cut? How many people got drafted to NFL and got cut?
Those are stories people don't talk about or think about.
Think about it. Every year the NFL has a draft, 12 rounds, whatever it is, and every year half those people don't make the league. Yeah. Half the people get drafted to the NFL don't make the league.
I actually had a friend that he plays international football now, but he was in the NFL, and I think he got drafted to the Buffalo Bills. But he was telling me that majority of the people that get in the NFL, they get hurt at practice. Yeah. Like practice but he was like, man, y'all think it's all about the game, but the most dangerous part of the sport is practice.
Yeah. You're on the field 4 days a week practicing, you only play one game. You're on the practice field all day.
That's crazy.
You're on the field 60 minutes. Of the 60 minutes, you might be out there 20. But you're on the practice field 2 hours a day, 3 or 4 days a week. I just spoke for the New England Patriots like a week and a half ago. I got my hometown called me, so I flew up. Yeah. Took my son with me.
How did that feel?
Oh man, I'm on midfield hanging out. Actually, during my presentation, Robert Kraft came down and thanked me for coming. I'm saying, acknowledge me, man. Say, oh man, I appreciate you coming.
That's fire.
Speaking to the team. His son came and spoke to me. I'm saying the whole staff, the team players. It was just like love to be at home. Right. And the crazy part, the New England Patriots play 5 miles from the prison I sat in. So we used to hear concerts from the prison, from the football field. Right. So I sat in solitary confinement in the basement, 5 miles away from the football field. Damn. And it was never a dream or even conceivable that I'd be midcourt,
midfield.
I'm not a football guy.
You good.
Midfield, hanging out with the owner of this man's worth $12 billion.
Yeah, it's different.
He took time out of his day to come down and say, yo, Andre, man, I appreciate you coming. Bang, 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 man, thank you. Is there anything we can do for you? I'm like, yo, you worth $12.5 billion.
That's different.
But you know what he was? He was integral. He didn't treat me like I was worth less or more than anybody else.
Right. That's a, man, I hope people really catching it. Because I realize this about most people who want to get it. They value the things that the people who have it don't really value. And they don't value the things that the people who have it do value.
That's why they get put out the room.
Exactly. And it works the opposite. Like a lot of the time they think that it's just cotton candy and just people just throwing, hey, you know, have integrity, have character. And it's like, you hear that type of stuff when you were in high school or middle school, when you go to this random program and they trying to tell you how to be a great person. And you just, it's like, yo, I'm hungry after I leave here. I don't care about nothing you talking about. But the reality is a lot of those cornball lessons that we hear are the exact principles that people at the highest level are living by. And that's the reason why they're able to, first of all, get to those levels and then also maintain it. On top of a work ethic.
You gotta have value. You gotta work hard. I knew that I was doing good many times. I work at Harvard University.
Right.
Work at London Business School. Work at the White House. Work at all these different places.
Yeah.
It was probably like a year and a half ago. My phone rings. Massachusetts. The Commissioner of Corrections calls my phone. Says, Andre, we need you to come back to the prison you used to live in. And the unit you used to. I told you that, Joe. They hired me to come back and run the unit I used to live in.
Bro, your story.
Listen.
You need a Netflix series.
They hired me.
What are you talking about, bro?
I'm out here moving.
I know.
And the commissioner called my phone and was like, yo, Dre, what's up? I'm like, yo, what's up?
What are you
They're
talking
like, we
about?
need you to come home.
That's serious,
The
man.
prison I used to live in.
Congratulations. How'd
The
that feel?
block I used to live in.
How'd it feel, man? I gotta ask.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yo, dude, I walked in with a motherfucking, with a little motherfucking I work here badge. Not a badge, but like a little ID.
I get what you're saying.
I got the state ID.
You got the ID.
I'm sitting in orientation with all the new cops, and I get my ID, and like, yo, man, I walk up to the prison, I walk inside. They took us on a tour. Like during the training week, you do Monday, Tuesday in the classroom. Wednesday, they take you on a site visit.
Yeah.
We went to go do the site visit where I was going to be working. We got in there like, oh, he don't need this. he know every part of. Well, that's he know all of this.
He know all this.
He know more of it than we do.
He was in here for a different reason.
He was in it, and it was crazy.
That is crazy.
And I ran the unit I used to live in. I used to live in cell 69. So the unit full. 69 was empty.
Yeah.
That was the one thing I had. Couldn't nobody live in my old cell. I would not let anybody. It was a 72-man block. Only had 71 people. I said, can't nobody live in that one. That one got to stay empty.
That one got to be empty.
That one got to be empty.
I know you're not an emotional person, right? But
not last I checked.
Yeah. But did you feel any level of emotion? I mean, obviously, it got to be some pride. You got to have a sense of pride for being able to accomplish what you've accomplished and make it full circle like that. But did you feel any level of emotion being able to come back in that capacity?
I didn't feel emotion. I felt victory. That I could go from solitary confinement to living in a cage to actually managing the cage, man. It was just like, yo, I go in there with such energy.
Yeah.
To me, it was energy that I get to transfer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I walk in there, they're like, yo, dude, I'm like, I'm not here to sun you. I'm not here to clown you. I'm here to show you, dude. I live right there. They like, that's why another reason I left my cell empty. Like, yo, how come nobody living there? That was OG's cell. What do you mean? That was his spot. He used to live in there.
Right.
Who? The nigga running the program.
Yeah.
He lived in there.
Yeah.
He lived in here. What do you mean he lived in here? That was his spot.
Bro, that's...
For years. I lived in that cell for a grip. And I'm like, it was not... I could care less about a cell, but I know the messaging it creates.
Right.
By leaving it empty.
The story is super powerful. Even as you tell it right now, but I know it's like 100 times more impactful for the people who are not only living it, but can see it.
And when I go to prison, the number one people I change are the staff. I mean, changing inmates is easy. I mean, we all want to do better, be better, do better, get out of there.
Right.
The staff has been trained to see us in a certain way.
Yeah.
The staff has seen us at our worst on a daily basis. So they see us on the news, they see us in the building, they see us doing what we do, and they start forming their belief based on TV plus what they see us doing every day.
Right.
So like, man, these dudes is out of control, out of order. So for me to come back and be like, yo, he was one of the worst dudes here.
Right.
Now they hired him and gave him an ID and gave him an office and a phone line, and he here.
And he getting compensated to do it.
I paid more than everybody else in the building. But the thing is here. It makes them look at the other prisoners different.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. He went from, the guards are saying, why is 69 cell empty? That same thing the inmates are saying, they're saying to the guards, why is this cell empty? That dude used to live in it.
Right.
And then why is he here? Because he transformed his life, created value from him, and he's creating value for others, and he's making your life safer right now. His presence is making your life safer as a staff person. Because he got his life together, he's here diminishing violence and drama that's gonna help you be safer to get home to your family. So now they see the value in me. Look at the dudes in the unit, you gotta see the value in them. I don't let you separate. Well, he's different. No, I ain't different.
That's good, bro.
You can't separate me from my people. I come back here intentionally.
That's fire.
You know what I'm saying? So I go in to show the guards what we can be.
Yeah.
I tell them, listen, I got a call from the president last week. When the last time you talked to him? I got a call from the governor last week. When the last time you talked to him? I got a call from Richard Branson. When the last time you talked to him? Yeah. I don't shine or try to floss or flex, but yo, the leader of the free world acknowledges me. The leader of countries acknowledged me. The United Nations called me like 3 years ago and said, Dre, we got a small problem called terrorism. And we got these young kids joining terrorist groups and blowing up stuff. Can you come help us teach these young kids not to join terrorist groups? You teach young kids not to join gangs. Is there any differential? I said, I believe I can do that for you. And then when they hired me, what I did, and this is a shout out to everybody in South Carolina, DOC, AOH, you know what I'm saying? I said, well, I got a group of men I work with in South Carolina State Prison. I will come help you if you employ them too. They said, well, how do you do that? I said, they're going to be my think tank. So the United Nations wrote a letter to the people, to the prisoners in my program in South Carolina, acknowledging them, asking for their assistance to help diminish terrorism in the world. Everybody in my block got a letter from the United Nations acknowledging their presence and their purpose and what they're doing. Yeah. I made them, it's not a me thing, it's an us thing.
Nah, that's fire.
So nobody else in DOC history has a letter from the United Nations except for the people in my program. And the United Nations is now saying, oh man, he's not a one-off. You know what I'm saying? There's 70 more dudes just like him in that program. Well, let's get one of them.
That's good.
I'm always going to shine the light. You know what I'm saying? I don't need no light. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to shine the light.
Yeah.
So there's people in the penitentiary who have far better skills than me. They just need the light on them. Right. And they need to see that, you know something? I can do it.
Right. No, that's change, brother. That's impact. Being able to make an impact in that way. It's not really many people that's walking around that can say, honestly, and look in the mirror and say that they're making that type of impact. So I commend you, bro.
Only because they're not maturing their gifts.
Right.
When I came home, I used to work with black kids.
Yeah.
I work with black boys in juvenile detention. You know why? That's why I felt comfortable.
Right.
It's what I understood. Then I started helping the girls in the girls unit. Yeah. I started working with Spanish kids. And I started working with white kids. And you know something? I started working with kids because they all had the same problem.
Right. They all the same.
Drugs are drugs. Depression is depression. Bullying is bullying.
Right.
It just looks different in different schools. It's the same difference. So I started working with kids. When I came home, I started working with prisoners. I wanted to free people from prison. What do you do, Dre? I free people from prison. Ask me what I do now. I just free people.
That's good.
Because I started where I felt comfortable, freeing prisoners.
Right.
Now I help people get free from addiction, free from bad decisions, free from being depressed, free from being suicidal. You know what I'm saying? Free from being trapped in bad relationships.
Yeah.
So I grew and matured my vision. People refuse to mature their vision.
Yeah.
So you have the vision to do this thing.
That's good.
If you mature it, you can do so much more. So yeah, I used to say I freed prisoners. Now I free people. I used to help black boys. Now I help kids. And I just want people to say, mature your vision.
Mature your vision. That's major. That's major. Being able to build on top of your, man.
People get to a certain level and stop.
Yeah.
Man, I'm good. I'm great right here. I'm comfortable. Comfortable's dead.
Comfortable's dead.
Comfortable's dead. I'm saying, and you can do. I went to Curacao for a speech.
Where?
Curacao. It's an island right next to Venezuela. So I fly to Curacao. 250 people flew in from Amsterdam because it's a Dutch island.
Yeah.
To hear me speak. There's probably like 5 or 6 locals from the island. So you had 250 white people for the most part.
Right.
Flew in to hear me speak. I fly down. My brother Elko and my guy. We get up. I come out on stage. I do my speech. 3 hours they had me on stage.
3 hours.
3 hours.
Killing it.
Dude, going in. When I finish, people crying, clapping, whatever. And people had comments and questions. Black lady stands up. There was like 5 black people in the audience. Black lady stands up in the front row. She said, that was a phenomenal speech. I'm not from the Netherlands. I'm from here on the island. And I believe your voice should be heard by local people here on the island too. Nothing against the people here. They deserve it. They paid for it. But I know schools with little black kids that need to hear you.
Right.
And will you be willing to come back and talk to our kids?
Right.
So I came off stage when it was over. I talked to the sister, and she picked up the phone and called the prime minister. Her husband happened to be a famous baseball player. So she calls the prime minister of the country and says, listen, I got him. This is the guy. And he was on the way to the airport. He cleared me to go to the prison the next day. So the next day, they take me to the prison. Well, I feel home. I go in, I speak at the prison. At the end of the day, the commissioner said, that was the best thing we've ever seen in our life. Can you stay longer? I looked at the sister. I said, I'll stay 7 more days if you let me in here every day. So he said, he signed off, said, cool. And for the next 7 days, I went to the prison about 5 times.
Yeah.
I went to like 5 or 6 different schools. I'm school visits in the morning, prison in the afternoon.
Right.
School visits in the morning, prison in the afternoon for the whole week.
Wow.
On behalf and request from the prime minister of the country.
That's good.
Same thing happened in the Bahamas. I went to the Bahamas. I gave a speech. Yo, can you stay for more time?
Right.
Prime minister calls. If you're adding value, people are going to rock with you. And I didn't make any money in Curacao going to these prisons and schools.
Right.
It's the right thing to do.
That's good.
When I went to the prison in the Bahamas, it was the right thing to do. It wasn't a financial thing.
Right.
You give by getting. It might not be from that person that I gave to, but what you put in the world comes back.
Right. You got a relationship with the prime minister.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
In multiple countries, every time I go someplace, I'm not even joking. I go someplace to get on stage, they're like, yo, you can't leave. You can't leave.
Kidnapping.
They use the mic. You can't leave. Because they see the value. And it's the thing. They don't care about me. And that's okay.
Yeah.
They're thinking about the people I can help.
Right.
That's their people.
The value that you can bring.
I'm not offended that they don't care about me.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, he can help our island be better.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying to people who are watching your podcast, mature your vision.
Right.
Don't narrow yourself. You know what I'm saying? Put yourself out there, man. And everybody's always looking for value and for talent. Good. Stop waiting for someone to, I want them to see my value and pay me. Nah, I didn't get paid a dime.
That's good.
7 days. They gave me a place to stay. They drove me around. You know what I'm saying? I actually had to pay for my rental car. I had a trip to another country that I had to cancel. So I probably lost like $3,500 on that trip.
Right.
Plus I paid for a rental car. It didn't matter. But you know something? I help people.
Right.
Which far outweighs the money I lost or the trip I missed.
Yeah.
I can say there are people better off on the planet Earth today because I took the time to invest. The same way people took time to invest in me.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. Man, you dropped a lot of nuggets, man. I can't even pick and choose which one was the most impactful because they all were heavy. And I'm pretty sure anybody watching this, especially to this point, got a lot of value. You know, so
the people watching, they tune in for the Sharks. I want to learn how to do business. I can teach you business without blinking.
For sure.
But there's some people watching this podcast who are home depressed right now.
Right.
There's some people watching this podcast in bad relationships right now.
Right.
There's some people watching this podcast who are wealthy as shit but stressed out right now.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Let us help you get your life together.
Yeah.
I was talking to a brother this morning. I said, man, if you don't get your life together, the business ain't gonna matter.
The first business you manage is your life.
If you don't get your life together, your business ain't gonna matter.
That's a fact.
And entrepreneurs, when confronted with a problem, go start another business. You don't go fix your problem. You go create another business as a distraction from your problem. And you say to yourself, if I can level up and get another bigger house, it'll even out.
Right.
If I get more money, that problem will even out. But your problem has nothing to do with money.
Yeah.
Your problem has nothing to do with money or another building or another house or another acre or another client. But as entrepreneurs, I've watched, man, I got this problem with me and my dad. I got this problem with me and my girl, problem with me and my kid. So let me fix it by making more money.
Yeah. There's
no correlation.
Yeah, that's true.
It's actually more of a distraction because you can say, I'm doing this thing for my kid. I'm doing this thing for my mom or dad. I'm doing this thing for the hood. No, you're doing it as a distraction to get away from them.
Yeah.
It's a justifiable reason not to focus.
They're trying to justify.
Face up.
Yeah, that's real. Man,
Stop running. Call us and don't call me for business advice until you call me for life advice. Because it's a waste of time.
Man. You going in. You going in. Where can people find you? Like, what's your socials or how people can get in contact with you?
I ain't trying to hear from nobody.
How can people follow you? How can people follow you?
Man, listen, man, I'm good. I didn't come on here trying to get no followers.
Man, listen, but some people may want to be able to get more value from you. I mean, you put out a lot of great content. So I want to be able to share value to people the way you are by making sure if they wanted to continuously hear from you and see some of the things that you're doing in order to be inspired, that they can find that.
At AndreNorman.com.
Thank you, brother. Yeah.
I mean, what happens is I'm not the social media dude. I'm saying I'm about the work. Right. I don't care about comments and likes.
I know you don't care about it, but here's the thing. Those things are what people are tuned into, So if they're already tuned into those things and they, instead of looking at something that will lead to absolutely no value in their life, they can find a person like you and actually get value that they can take and make an impact on their own just based on consuming better quality content, then who am I to stop them?
My thing is, stop watching me on IG. Stop watching me on YouTube. Pull up. Where I come from, we pull up. You know what I'm saying? So all that watching me from a distance, I'm saying, what's all that about?
Hey, man,
if you want to get down, be down.
Yeah, that's real.
If you want to get down, be down, man. You can't win if you ain't in the game.
Yeah, some people don't have the mean. Like, okay, let's say it's a random person in Idaho or in a third world country, because the internet is worldwide. A person could be watching you. They may make little to no money, not know what to do, and they heard this podcast here today, and now they're thinking to themselves, "Man, this dude just inspired me. This dude is penetrating," and they may want to follow up with that.
Inspiration wears off.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Motivation fades.
Motivation like makeup.
So I have tons of people who hit me up and ask me a question. Now I answer it in the DM. Pull up. You know what I'm saying? Don't ask me the goofy shit. You know what I'm saying? I had one dude hit me up he hit me up like, ask me some questions. I want to talk to you about some business thing. So I mess around. I'm at LA Fitness doing nothing. So I hit him up. I'm sitting in the sauna doing nothing.
He said, pull up to LA Fitness?
No, I didn't tell him. I didn't tell him where I was. I was at LA Fitness. I go to LA Fitness, sit in the sauna for an hour every morning. So I'm in there doing nothing. I said, I hit the dude up.
You said for an hour?
Yeah.
That's a long time. You gotta be careful. You could pass out in the sauna after.
You just gotta bring water with you.
Okay. I'm not gonna tell you what to do with you.
So I'm gonna tell you some rich people stuff. Himalayan salt in your water hydrates you.
Yeah.
So you put Himalayan pink salt in water, spring water, shake it up, you drink it, you can stay in that sauna for 3 hours.
But I stay in the sauna for 15 minutes.
But are you drinking Himalayan salt in your water?
I'm definitely not doing that. But
trust me,
first person
I hang out with super rich people who tell me all the life hacks.
Yeah, I can dig it.
I hit dude up, then I called him. He was like, "Oh man, you call?" I'm like, "Yo, what's up?" He went into telling me his story. Oh, I'm 25 years old and I'm from Nebraska. Dude, you text me about a business. No, let me tell you my story and what happened was and why. I don't care. I don't care about you. And after like 3 or 4 attempts of trying to tell me his story, he got, me, I cut you off.
Yo, you definitely will.
I'm cutting him off. I kept going back to the business. He's trying to make a friend. So he said, man, I'm sorry for bothering you, wasting your time, man. He's about to get off the phone. I said, brother, please don't get off the phone. I said, dude, please don't get off the phone. He said, what's up? I said, you called me for business advice, but you're on the phone trying to get a friend. Get the business advice. That's what you called for. Had I saw your message and it said I wanted a friend, I wouldn't have answered. I don't need new friends. Don't want new friends. I answered your message because you told me clearly you got a business, you're in this space, and you need some advice. I'm trying to give you advice. You're trying to give me this personal monologue that I don't care about.
Right.
Don't mix the two. I said,
real.
now that we got that out there, when I sat on the phone for like 8 minutes, just dropping jewels and get a pen and paper, we went in. Then I got off the car, I said, man, good luck. Go do your thing. I said, how many times have you blown a deal interjecting personal when it was business?
That's good.
So, I mean, pull up. I mean, I get messages all the time. I go through. If it's just like, hi, Dre, I delete that shit. Yeah. You ask a specific question, it'll say, I hit you back.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you for sharing your social, man, and your website for that matter.
It's IG at Andre Norman.
Andre Norman.
But listen, I answer my own messages. Yeah. If I answer, it's gonna be me.
That's good.
But you hit my thing and say, hey, buy my book.
Basically, don't waste your time.
If you just want to say hi, hit the like button.
Yeah, don't waste his time, y'all. Trust me. He'll let you, either he ain't gonna let you know nothing or he gonna let you know something. Either way.
Ask a specific question and I'll give you a specific answer. If you ask some random shit, I'm gonna delete it.
So that's all Andre Norman, bro. If that ain't Andre Norman, I don't know what is, man.
And some dude hit me up talking about, hey man, you should make a movie out of your life, blah blah. Then I gave him my email. He sent me this package, this email kit. It was like 4 videos, and none of the shit that he said it was gonna be. Then I hit him back. He's like, how come you didn't hit me up? I said, dude, I looked at what you sent me. None of it had anything to do with me. He said, oh, I sent you the wrong stuff.
It's definitely some weirdos on the internet.
No, what happened is, instead of sending me the thing for me, he tried to merge his shit in with it.
Just to get you to watch it.
He wanted me to watch his shit and the shit he had for me. He tried to double dip. I'm like, dude, that's not what this is. If you wanted to try to low-end picture stuff, just say, hey, man, I got some stuff I want you to watch. I told you that ain't what I do. You said you had this project. I agreed to this project. Don't try to slide extra stuff in.
Right.
Be focused, be integral, because once you try to do this shady, delete that shit.
No, I could dig it, man. I could dig it. Like so we gonna end it right here, man. I appreciate you. You gave a lot of value, a lot of nuggets, bro. I'm gonna have to rewatch this episode myself because you definitely call me. No, for sure, but I'm still gonna rewatch it because you gave a lot of nuggets, man. And I definitely appreciate you taking the time. And I'm looking forward to our next conversation, man. Might have to fly out the country with you and tap in and one of these other. We
do masterminds around the world.
For sure.
Oh, man, we just did a mastermind outside. We do masterminds outside the country like every 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm saying, so like, yo, man, how do I sound a bill? Man, pull up.
Pull up.
Man, listen, man.
It's going to cost that bag though, right?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Yeah, see, that's
education cost.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Education cost. So, I mean, you go to college, you pay. You go to trade school, you pay. Dre, show me how to make $25,000 a speech. What, for free?
I dig it.
So listen,
I can dig it.
I mean, but real talk, right? Man, listen. We go on trips all the time. We always building. I'm all around the country. Yeah. I mean, we're in Detroit this week. We're in LA this week. We're in New York this week. We're all over the place. So it's like I might be coming to your city anyways.
You're right.
So I don't know, but I don't need nobody taking me to lunch, nigga.
Y'all tap in with Andre and make sure you got that bag ready if you really want to pull up. That we're gonna cut it right there.
Peace.
Appreciate it, man. That was a lot, bro. That was a lot of value, bro. And the crazy